We can cast this. Oh. We gotta go for that one, right? Yeah, that'll be sweet. Let's see what happens here. Wow. That is so satisfying. Oh my gosh. Feeling pretty good now. Hey there, cons. Today we're going to look at Graveyard Gifts. It's a blue-black dimir starter deck. Taking a look at the deck, we've got Opt, which is a scry 1 draw a card, so we kind of filter on our good cards and draw into our good ones. Stab is a 1 black. Our creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn, so a bit of removal for early threats and or combat tricks. The Brineborn Cutthroat. This card incentivizes us to, play cards on our opponent's turn, instant speed. Essence Scatter is just a counter for target creatures. Gleaming Barrier, it's an 0/4 defender, so a defensive card to kind of hold us off to the later stages in the game. And then when it dies, we create a treasure token, so we get an option to ramp. Inspiration from Beyond, mill 3 cards and return an instant or sorcery, so we get to recur some of our instants and sorceries. And then it also has flashback, so we get to cast it again from our graveyard in longer, grindier matchups. Curia, the Rising Tide. So when she enters, draw 2 cards and discard 2. So we get to fill up our bin, and as long as we have 7 or more cards in our graveyard, we get to create a Sign of the Deep, a legendary 8/8 blue octopus creature token. And then Crow of the Dark Tidings. So this is a good synergy card for our deck because when it enters or dies, you mill 2 cards, and we get rewarded for filling our graveyard. Abyssal Harvester. So this card rewards us for killing our opponent's threats, and then we get to make copies of them, but it's a nightmare instead. So we get to leverage some of our opponent's good cards. Dreadwing Scavenger. This is a good card. As long as we have 7 or more cards in our graveyard, it becomes a 3/3 flyer with Death Touch. So both a offensive and defensive threat. Billowing Shriek Mask. This can grow to a 4/4 flyer, assuming you have 7 or more cards in your graveyard. So it's a good body for 4 mana. Zombify, this is a great card to recur creatures from our graveyard. So in longer, grindier matchups, if our opponent removes our threat, we get to put them back on the battlefield. Making the pie is just removal with built of a bit of sustain in there. Arcanus, this just draws us a bunch of cards to find all of our more powerful effects. Arbiter of Woe, it's a 5/4 with the downside of having to sack a creature, but when it does enter, each opponent discards a card and loses 2 life. You draw a card and gain 2 life. So this is how we're going to get value in the later stages of the game as a dimir deck. And then finally, Rise of the Dark Realms. For 7 black, put all creature cards from all graveyards onto the battlefield under your control. So if you manage to cast this spell, typically that leads to a concession from your opponent. So yeah, that's a high-level view of Graveyard Gifts, the dimir starter deck. Take it for a spin. All right, our opponent goes first. We've got of colors. We've got early turn plays. We can grind to draw into some good stuff, and also remove early threats from our. That is an aggressive color. That is a good stab target. So as long as there are 2 or more instant sorcery cards, this got its also in haste. We'll roll. Maybe they commit more resources into the card. That is also a good target. We can do both. Early removal for our creature's opponents here. Get to opt and stab, right? This is what you want early turns, huh? And this prowess triggers. We will stab in response. If they have a second instant, I will feel sad. Okay. We did not get punished there. They do get to scry, but we will also scry. And then probably inspire from beyond, right? Turn. Okay, not the best sign. They have 4 cards in hand. You opt into their turn. Yeah, creature's fine. Alright. Probably go on the offensive. Play out Kiora. Draw 2, discard 2. Yeah, get more information. Don't need 1. Don't need 2. Okay, yeah. You can always break them back if we need to, right? Do they shock it? They do. Yeah. Maybe it would have been better to play out a wall and keep opt open up. And we drew into more cards. Ooh. Okay. We can cutthroat and opt on turn. But we'll flash it in on their turn. Hopefully, take them by surprise. But they are flying overhead, so effective. That's a good card. And not drawing their second card is helpful. All right. That. Some removal. And, you know, Zombify is good. Alright. So we're going to Zombify. And tap land for turn. Aura back out. I think we discard both lands. Yeah, that's a choice. No attacks, and then that is on her attack. You want to try to clear the way for her to do possible. Oh boy. They're doing their thing. They're not the best sign. Yikes. They're playing everything out. This creature deals combat damage to a player. That many incubation counters on it. Remove 3 incubation counters from this. A 2/2 blue drake. Creature token will fly. So we're not gonna block, are we? I will just take it this time. Okay. Take action. Double block. Oh, that gets through. Alright. We have an 8/8 on the defense, but we don't have any flyers or creatures with reach yet. Drawing cards and creating 1 very creature tokens while flying. Scrying to the okay. Oh boy. They are getting a lot of value. Oh, don't look at my stuff. That is 5 damage. Yeah. Drawing cards. Yeah. Exile it. They're doing the thing. I think we're gonna have to stab their stick. Alright. So they know we... No, they don't know. Okay. We are on the defensive. Let's just say go. They're getting way too much value. It'd be nice to draw into, you know, bake into a pie for this guy that keeps drawing the cards. Pay off. You have 5 cards in hand. They have plenty of mana. Yeah. Get the Essence Scatter out there. All right. That was impactful. Target for that. Counter. All right. Lucky there. Hang back, right? Interesting. I don't understand this play. Do it like that. Destructible? Okay. Rose. 03 and hexproof. I'm not going to target it. Okay, it does survive. Yeah, I'm not sure why they did that. Okay. Well, we do get a flyer. But I'm not quite comfortable attacking in. Oh, there's the bacon pie. I guess we have to pitch the stab. And I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll get in 5. Middle of the road play, not too aggressive, not too defensive. They do have 8 mana, 4 cards in hand. Oh, okay, they draw 3 cards. That's good for them. They have a lot in their hand currently. Have to discard any? Roll wizard. A couple of them. What's they have? That was a sick counter. Yeah, Gitu. Alright, so they get some hasty guys. Access to 4 mana, they're going full out swing. I don't like this, but see how this plays out. Alright, that's fine. That will trade. Are we dead? They cast another instant or sorcery. What they're thinking. Alright, that resolves. We're down to 4. Can we think? I say we just doesn't feel good. Have plenty of cards in hand. The down a creature. But we have some instants to respond. Whatever line of play they have here. To combat. All right. So going to declare blocks. They have any response to declare to blocks? Plus 0 plus 3. So then it becomes okay. We just frustrated our opponent. All right. I was trying to read the cards, but I don't know if they were going to bounce back. Opt, we had bacon to the pie. I'm sure we would have landed. You know, we had 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. You know, if we drew a land, we could have inspired from beyond, right? Flashback. Then return instant or sorcery. So we could have recurred some graveyard shenanigans. Opening hand. Our opponent goes first. We have 2 islands. Turn 1 play, turn 2 play. As long as we draw a mana of any color, we have a turn 3 play. Hopefully we can draw into a swamp. Cheeky tricks of trying to get this dead, you know, sacrificing it to get blue or black. So yeah, we'll keep it. Let's see if we draw into something that'll help us. All right. You know, opting, we can do that on our opponent's turn. And hopefully we can opt into a swamp. They don't cast anything, we scry 1. We don't need another gleaming barrier. So bottom. All right. Do have a turn 2 play. I'd rather have access to turn 3 play, so I will play this tapped land for turn and pass. Our opponent's on the Orzhov deck, so they've gained synergy. They don't have any early turn plays, but the Vampire Nighthawk is a very good card. So we're gonna have to start putting cards in our graveyard to get value out of our deck, so we'll go ahead and cast out the Dreadwing Scavenger. We're gonna pitch the card that has flashback. That way we have access to it later. Want to hang on to these removal. That's gonna try to help us get it back into the game. And we do want to put more cards in our graveyard. Our opponent has here. Ooh, Fiendish Panda. So they have a payoff card for gaining life. We are not going to chump in here. Next turn, we'll consider double blocking. Yikes. Okay, so we would like to scry into more lands. So I'll do that first. That is a land. Yeah, we're going to take that. And then, like I said, we'll play out the double dread. Oh shoot, I forgot. I should have done that first. We don't need any more gleaming barriers unless we want chump blockers, right? That's going to be the less helpful card here. Let's see what our opponent has. They're looking at our stuff. Oh no. So there goes the double block option. Yikes. Running away from us. Can't bake in to buy some things, right? The blocks. It does cost 4 mana. Oh, okay. So if we want to put cards in our graveyard. Cast this at instant speed. So we'll just play out the land. And then hold back. And then try to make the best informed decision around what our opponent plays and does here. Be nice to probably remove their enabler first. It's hard to say. Or what we can do is declare the block and then in response cast the destroy target creature spell. While they're looking at our stuff. That's never good. How many mortifiers do you have? So looking at our land. Huh. Interesting. Alright. Target opponent sacrifices a creature. Okay, that does happen. We'll let that happen. You gotta stop the bleeding. So at this point, we're gonna get rid of their payoff card. Then hopefully they just run out of gas with, you know, only 3 cards remaining in hand. Put stuff up. Okay. just to get more value out of this card, we're gonna go here and try to survive. So like I said, you want to wait, especially instance, till you get as much information as you can before casting a card. So we drew all of our Zombifies. We're just gonna say go. It's not suspicious at all. What else do they commit here? Okay, so they're playing out some lands. Hopefully they are flooding. So we have a chance to bounce back here. Okay, so combat. Nope. Wait. Thinking. This enters if it was kicked, return. Oh boy. A value 2 or less. Okay, so they don't hit anything. That's encouraging. And we're just gonna die if we don't remove this, but maybe they have their other moment of triumph or another pump style effect card here. Go to attacks. Now, this is the last possible second. We will destroy this creature. Give it hexproof. Indestructible. Probably not. They do return target non-bear. Okay, yeah. This is getting ugly. I don't know how likely we are to bounce back. Okay. We have something in the bin. We've got Red Wing Scavenger. So, there's that sorcery speed. We'll just do it now. And we should still have 7 out of 7. Turn that to the battlefield, so that's Death Touch. Does that remove it to 6? Let's count it. 2, 3. Oh, what we can do is bluff, this returning. Actually, we're going to discard it. Never mind. Forget about that. ETB. Are they going to remove it? Okay, we'll allow that. That's fine. We don't need all of these Zombify. So that's going to be a 1/1 until end of turn. Okay. So I'm assuming they're going to send both of them. I think Zombify actually gets around this. Can need to sacrifice a creature. You're returning it instead of casting it. I don't know. We'll test that interaction. They're gaining life. That's cool. Right now they're going wide, which is scary. I have to remove that instead. I will block here. Take 3. Stab this. We could have done that in response to them, doing some other things, but I'm assuming we survive here. And this in the bin. I want to test that theory out, and then we get to gain life, so might be stabilizing here. Oh man, they're playing a lot of Nighthawks. I will trade with that, right? Yeah. Or do I just take out and then gain life? Yeah, let's do it this way. So we get to keep our body on the pitch. All right. Cool, we drew into a stab. So I gotta test this out. No. Okay, it did work. Okay. We can gain life, or do we want to keep? You know what? I think we're gonna hang on. So we're gonna keep the stab open, and we're also gonna keep the food open. We're on the defensive, so let's see what our opponent does. Okay, that's also a good target for stab. I think I'll probably go that route. Just to slow down their enablers, and we have an answer for the 3-1 body here. Yeah, let's get rid of it. And then we can gain some life with our remaining mana open here. Alright, we're flooding out, but we can go ahead and mill 3 cards and return an instant or sorcery. We could probably get some more removal, right? Picking up high is pretty good. And we'll play the tap land that gains us life. I will offer the trade. Right. It is looking a little different now. A little bit different. Sacrifice a creature. We'll get there. Alright, so we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. I think we're gonna be on the back foot here. Play this tap land. Yes, it's a shame this isn't instant speed instead of sorcery speed. We're gonna keep the baking the pie open. Oh boy, there's the payoff for gaining life. Yikes. What we can do, we can inspire into another pie, right? We'll go ahead and destroy this. We'll in our life. Then we'll go ahead and block the 3-1 with our 5-4. That grows, but we get to inspire from beyond, right? So that's 9 mana. Oh, that might be even better. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We can cast this. Oh. We gotta go for that one, right? Yeah, that'll be sweet. Assuming we get to pop it off, right? We'll attack. Probably. Yeah, we'll see what happens here. Out, draw land, back in. Block, get a treasure token out of it. Let's see what happens here. Wow. That is so satisfying. Oh my gosh. Discard the land. Discard the opt. Don't need a shriek mask. Wow. Feeling pretty good now. Yeah, all right. So, yeah, we made some early decisions that led to, shutting down their game plan, so removing their threats. And then, you know, it was a control matchup, so we had to make decisions to just survive. And then once we got past some of that, you know, removing their threats, then digging for answers, you know, I think that's what the engine of this deck is intended to do. And then once we got past all of that, look at our exile cards. Inspiration from Beyond was a good payoff. We got to return an instant or sorcery. As soon as we saw Rise of the Dark Realms get thrown in the bin off a mill effect, then we knew our target for that spell. That was sweet. Right. Hey there, cons. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. See you out there in the plane of Tarkir.